Hey guys, Adam Trigger here, wagertalk.com. It's college football week 8, and we're heading to the Big 12 to talk TCU, Kansas State, a rematch of last year's Big 12 title game. First, if you like the content, please like and subscribe to our channel so we can continue to bring you free picks all season long. Big 12, like I said, last year, this was the title game. These teams actually played two fantastic games last year. Sort of like a budding rivalry in this conference. They've now played 17 times since TCU has joined the Big 12, and with the win in the Big 12 championship game last year, Kansas State improved to 9-8 in that rivalry. But a lot of these games have been close, one possession type games, and that's kind of what I feel in this game. So, I felt like the number was big here. It looks like it got bet down a little bit from where it opened. Some places opened to 7.5. I saw a lot of sevens. It's come down to 6.5 now, but I agree with that move. I do think that this is too many points. And the way I would bet this game would be TCU plus the points. Now, these teams right now have a lot of similarities. Both of these teams look completely lost a couple weeks ago. You had TCU back-to-back losses to West Virginia and Iowa State. The Iowa State game particularly bad. Kansas State was absolutely dreadful against Oklahoma State. One of the worst games that I can remember Kansas State playing. You probably have to go back to last year when they were upset by Tulane to find a game where they played that poorly. And I think they probably played worse against Oklahoma State. To lose last Friday night. Now, both of these teams bounce back from those losses. TCU blows out BYU. Kansas State blows out Texas Tech. But again, I keep coming back to the inconsistencies of both teams and how kind of close this rivalry has been. And I just find it hard to believe that one of these teams pulls away from the other, whether it be Kansas State or TCU. It feels like a close game either way. And for that reason, I'm gravitating toward, taking the points here because I have a hard time believing that this is anything other than a one-score game. So we've got quarterback sort of changes on both sides. Will Howard, I didn't really expect him to get benched. Avery Johnson comes in, plays well, and now Kansas State's got a little quarterback controversy on their hands. And I don't know that that's a positive for them. Howard was a guy that waited forever to be the starter of this team. A lot of experience starting games, in situations where TCU's quarterback went down and he was the best option there. But this was supposed to be his team this year. And now so to kind of, have him benched, we're really not sure what Kansas State's going to do. Play them both. It's kind of a mystery. But it's certainly too much of a mystery to want to lay points, with Kansas State. On the other side, Josh Hoover, he's kind of a wild card as well. Looks like a total gunslinger, 37 for 58 in that game against BYU, throwing it all over the place. 4 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. That would be the main concern with Hoover is the potential mistake. But I think a lot of those mistakes are just from him being kind of aggressive, throwing the ball. And I think he's been more of a spark for TCU. Kansas State's main weakness defensively is against the pass. And so I actually think Hoover gives TCU a nice opportunity to move the ball and hit some bigger plays on Kansas State. So this hasn't made my client card yet, but the way I'm eyeing this one would be TCU. It'd be ideal if you could get a touchdown. Again, this just comes back to sort of what we've seen from these two teams in recent years and how these two teams come into play in this game. It's hard to believe that either pull away from the other. And Kansas State's been a team that I've kind of felt has been overvalued since the beginning of the season. Now I think they might be overvalued again after blowing Texas Tech out. And for that reason, I'll settle on the points here with TCU. I think the Horned Frogs is the right side and the way to go if you're betting this Big 12 matchup. Click the other videos on the screen for more free picks and head on over to wagertalk.com. Use coupon code 7PASS for 7 days of all access service at a discounted rate for myself or any of the other handicappers. And head on over to wagertalk.com on my page, wt.buzz/AT, for all of my picks.